All right, with Lucas Candelino, Detectives and Dragons is the short film played at the Comedy Festival. It's 8 minutes long. You're the co-director of this film, and also you're from my area. You're from the Niagara region, correct?
Yes, St. Catharines, born and raised. So
So I was born and raised in Niagara Falls.
nice. Okay, yeah. So 10, 15 minutes away.
Yeah, but I used to go up there all the time on the docks there. Back then, we used to party a lot and like do a lot of crazy. I heard your generation doesn't do that as much.
I think thankfully we got it right before COVID. At least my like Gen Z's,
Yeah.
my age got it right before COVID. We were able to party. But you're right, it's not as frequent now, unfortunately. I like to think I did a bit. eh, University, at
Yeah.
least.
Did you go to school in the area as well?
Yeah, I went to St. Charles and Thorold, which is now Holy Rosary, and then I went to Monsignor, which is also Holy Rosary. They combined, and then I went to Dennis Morris, high school, and now I work at Brock University. So basically, I clearly I like this city,
So
this
I
area.
went to A.M. Meyer in Niagara Falls, so we used to
Yep.
play Dennis Morris all the time in football. We used to always
Yes.
beat you guys, yeah.
Yeah. We're not known for our football team
Yeah. And then you go
at
to Brock,
DM.
yeah. So
Yep.
you teach at Brock now or you work there or
I did my undergrad there, business administration, and now I recruit for the school. So it's kind of a full circle,
right, so
recruiting for students.
gotcha. So tell me about so yeah, so you're still in the area. That's awesome. So tell me about Detectives and Dragons. So it's you and two other gentlemen, you guys wrote the script and you directed it, correct?
Yeah, we had done this a little bit before, with more personal projects, and then we said, we haven't really made a short film. We have a pretty nice camera if we use it properly,
Yeah.
and we were able to use the venue. Thankfully, it's in St. Catharines as well. We put it at the end of the short, but they said I haven't played myself, but the two other writers did, and they said, wouldn't it be funny if we kind of, had this cop who has to sort of bust someone or get someone to admit to a crime through role playing through the game. And we're like, oh, that could be a funny concept. But
And then you went from there. So you got it's like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of take, I guess. I'm assuming you
yeah,
guys played the game.
yeah, those two do, especially one of them. That's how he knew the card game store that we were able to shoot at.
Okay.
So they were like, okay, we'll figure out the rules. We'll write the rules part, and make sure I don't step out of bounds.
Yeah.
And we'll shoot it so it makes enough sense.
So what is the card game? It seems like a pretty cool place.
Yeah, it's let me see. I'll look it up. It's been a couple months. I'm trying to remember.
Is it in St. Catharines?
Yeah, it's on Fourth Ave. It's
Okay.
it's a card game store.
So it's like
I
sports cards, like Pokemon cards, I'm assuming, and then card games.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mecca. That's it. I was like, which one is it? Mechanic? Yeah, Mecca
Okay, cool.
Games. It's on Ontario Street. That's right. So
Ontario,
right
so
next
yeah.
to Fourth Ave. Yeah, they let us use the space for the day. We shot it. It was all one day, pretty much the whole shoot except the opening couple shots.
Yeah. Is this filmmaking something you guys want to do, or is this something you just did like,
A bit of both. We have quite a bit of our like money invested in some decent equipment. I did theater in high school, so I have some connections. Some of the people you see in the short are actually from uh, previous things we've done. But I don't know. We're kind of like this is fun, and if it leads to something great, but mainly it's just to kind of have fun.
so you guys didn't go to school for film or anything like that?
One of the co-writers and directors did, Ben. Yeah, I think he just finished up. He did a year or two with this institute in Toronto. But no, the other two, me and the other writer, we didn't. So a lot of this is just referencing other movies. Or I mainly the way we operate is Ben's the writer, he does script writing. Evan has pretty wacky ideas. And then I do a lot of the actual shooting, editing, color grading, things like that.
So you kind of like stay in the middle and kind of finesse everything, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's talk about that because it's interesting. This film is interesting tone-wise because it is a comedy, and you got to keep on that comedy while also kind of telling the story and us as an audience caring. And a lot of times, like I watch a lot of these films, and most times they don't really work, right? Because the tone is off. But you guys kind of nailed this. Like, can you talk to me about like making sure that it's not too over the top, too crazy. The characters are kind of in reality still.
Yeah, well, thank you for first of all for saying that. Because it is tricky, right, to
Yeah,
balance this absurd scenario, but how do we make it realistic without going too crazy?
100%. Yeah.
And originally we did write to have like police vehicles outside, and my brain immediately when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, where are we gonna get these police vehicles? So there's stuff like that. Thankfully, I think we all kind of have a filter where we say, at what point is it too much, or does it kind of take away from the story? And usually we do about 3 or 4 rounds of the script, even though it's so short. And we even run it by our actors to say, do you have anything, you know, do you think this is too absurd? Do you think this line is out of place? Would your character say this? Just to make sure, yeah, we're keeping with the theme and not going overboard.
God, yeah. And so then was there any improvisation happening on set, or do you guys kind of stick with the script?
Um, For the sake of we only had the room for a day, most of it was to the script, although it wasn't like word for word. There were a couple lines thrown in there where I was like, the actor was not quite hitting it right. So I was like, you know what? Say it as you would say it. You don't have to say it word for word. So for the most part, it was script, but we like to let the actors kind of add to their own character and interpret the words a bit differently. Day of.
Is it fair to say that these guys are cool nerds? Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, that I don't think probably two of them in the shoot actually play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Or I don't think any of them really go to like these types of stores or these types of events. But they know enough to engage and have fun with it.
Because it's a huge thing, right? Like there's like some of these YouTube channels. I remember a person that used to work for us, and her boyfriend runs this huge Dungeons and Dragons YouTube channel, and it's like he's making a like this is what he does for a living.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I found funny. I have it on my desk.
Yeah,
I went to an event for Brock the other day, met someone, and he said, "Please bring me your Pokemon cards because these are selling like hotcakes right now. These are from like 2006 or 1990s."
yeah.
Um, and it's just funny because you're right, it's such a lucrative business. Some people love it for the game of actually playing it, and some people love it because they can invest. Ben, he has a decent amount of cards,
I
one
don't
of the
understand. I'm a
co-directors.
sports card collector.
Yeah.
If you go right here, it's like I have a huge collection of baseball cards, like
Mhm.
gigantic. I don't understand Pokemon cards. My son he was playing baseball at this indoor thing, and we went to a card collection, and 90% of it was Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't play myself, so that's why he said, "Hey, come let me see the
But these
cards,"
cards, some
because
of these cards are worth a lot of money.
yeah, I think he valued mine if I sold them, if based on their condition, they're probably about $600. And I'm never going to use these again. I I
But
barely
why don't
touch
you
them.
just sell them then?
I'm going to do that actually, and I might visit Mecca or someone. I'm trying to see who will give you the best rate. But
Gotcha. Are
yeah,
they in good
very a lot of
condition though?
money.
Or
Mine are decent. It's a weird scale with that system. So for example, if your card is perfect, you can get like 10,000 for one
yeah,
card.
yeah.
If it's like a 9 or an 8 out of 10, it immediately goes down by like
No, that's how it is
80%
like with
value.
baseball cards. It's exactly
Yeah,
the same thing. Mid condition,
yeah,
like excellent condition, good condition, very good.
yeah.
It's all
Mine
rated.
are okay. They're about a 7, 6 or a 7, so not the best, but
But why would it makes them valuable though? What's the supply and demand of making them valuable?
see that's where I'm like, I don't know. I just want to sell it. I think it's because these cards specifically, the ones I have are from 2000. Well, they range from 1996 to 2011. And obviously they don't make those types of cards anymore. Those Pokemons, specifically the characters don't get printed, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's booming right now, but yeah.
Well, it seems to be a big thing with kids, like
Mhm.
kids that were playing it at school and stuff like that. So
Better than the phone. I'll give it that.
yeah,
It's a little more
not as good
fun.
as baseball cards though. But that's
Not as good as baseball.
That's my subjective opinion. but
Mm,
uh but I was blown away like how like and how popular it was. I just was it was just it's just funny coincidence that we're talking because it was happened last week.
yeah.
But anyways, your film, I like your film because it is like a Dungeons and Dragons gone wrong, right? Like it's got
Hmm.
like without giving away any like all of it, but it does have guns in it. You know what I mean? It's like this is what it's a really great concept.
Hmm. Yeah, my friend, the one of the actors at the table was like, "Hey, why don't you mix Stranger Things with Pulp Fiction?" And I said, "That sounds like possibly a terrible idea. I
Yeah.
don't know what's going to come of that. That sounds ridiculous, but and I'm not a fan of it. I'm the worst. So I'm like, I don't know about these." And then we fleshed it out. We're like, "Oh, okay, I see what you mean." And it ended up, yeah, it ended up working. Like you said, there is a gun. We don't like to rely on just action because that's not our exactly our bag,
Yeah.
but for that specific sequence, I had to learn the VFX for that. So all the what might happen with regarding guns and VFX. I had to learn all that, but it was a fun learning curve because you get to see your improvements over time when you take on like new editing things or new things you have to implement into stories. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, it doesn't go totally Pulp Fiction, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's not overly violent and you know, like have you seen the movie? You said you're not a fan?
yeah. I have seen it. I saw it. You know what though? I saw it. It's not fair to that movie because I saw it when I was like 13.
Yeah.
So I feel like now I'd probably enjoy it, but I've seen it, yeah, and I know obviously the many grotesque things, especially the one scene. But
But it was like it came in 94, so I'm assuming you weren't born then.
no, no, yeah, I would have been after my time, but I remember watching it with my dad.
So with your dad, okay. Okay, so yeah, your dad must have been a fan then.
Yeah, he showed me all the movies that I shouldn't have been allowed to watch, so I am grateful for that.
What else did he show you?
Oh God. Just they're like good movies, bad movies, nudity, things you know a kid should not see. He was like, "Yeah, that's fine." The Hangover, all the time, all three. I saw the third one in theaters when I was like 12, and
Mhm.
it's like, yeah. And thankfully, I hope I turned out okay, and that didn't affect me. But I am grateful that he did kind of expose me to that early on. So a little bit desensitized to movies, thankfully. Nothing shocks me too much. But when it does, it's great because I'm like, oh, if it shocks me, then it must be pretty crazy.
So you did this, you did so you did the edit, you're the editor of the film as well?
Yeah, so I shot, um, edited the whole thing. We all directed it day of. And I mainly use DaVinci Resolve. So my camera's a Blackmagic, and thankfully it comes with premium DaVinci Resolve. And yeah, great program. Can't complain. It's been lovely to me. But yeah.
And then so you did the sound design as well?
Yep. Everything was me pretty much. I there were a couple sound effects I got online, but all that
Yeah,
was through me.
gotcha. And then what motivated you to like to send out the festivals and get it out there?
Yeah, we've never done it. We wanted like whether we're accepted or rejected, it would be nice to just get some feedback. So especially with your festival, it's nice to hear from people and what they think. Because again, we're only in our own bubble.
Yeah.
So, how are we going to experience what others feel or kind of comments about our story if we're just kind of sharing it amongst ourselves? So we wanted to just submit it to some places. It's our first time doing it. We really enjoyed it, and hopefully, yeah, again in the future we do something else and kind of continue sharing it with other people.
So you guys are gonna keep making other films?
Yeah, that's the plan. Probably more shorts. We're
Yeah.
busy people. We're trying to find new actors though, new writers, just so again we're not in our own bubble. But yeah, likely in the new year we'll make some new stuff.
Well, you're at the school, right? I know they have a theater program there, but like
Yeah, I should. I
some
think
good
one of my
actors there.
friends. Yeah, I think one of my friends did the program. And definitely has connections.
Yeah.
'Cause yeah, we have the Marilyn I. Walker campus there and just downtown. So yeah, it's a good idea. I know a couple people in the improv. club at the school, so I can also ask them. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
spent a lot of my childhood at Brock University.
yep, me
Yeah,
as well. Yeah,
I did swimming there, right? At the
yep.
Olympic pool. And my mom was actually going to school while I was a kid, so I spent a lot of time there.
Yeah, they got the tower there, the pool. You jump off the tower. We did archery as kids, so I always liked the area, and I was like, oh, I can work for Brock after I graduate. That's fantastic. So
And was that your plan?
no, I finished. So my degree ended in around Christmas time of 2023, and well, I wasn't quite looking for a job yet because I was like, okay, finally I could take a break. But then something opened up for January and I was fortunate enough to get it. So I just started immediately after I graduated. Um, so didn't end up plan to be at Brock, but I love it. I love the area. I live close. So the institution's been nothing but great for me during my undergrad and now, of course.
Yeah. This film of yours has got there's kind of ripple effects of it. There you could kind of make a series out of it if you want to.
Yeah, because you're right, because the character, the cop himself, Um, he is kind of an idiot or
Yeah.
kind of a know-it-all, but he doesn't know it all. So you
Yeah.
could
So
definitely
he's a
this could be the
typical Niagara region cop. I
he
have a lot of
he
friends who work for. I'm just kidding around. Yeah.
okay, okay, yeah. Arrest him, not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Yeah, no, you're right, because this could be like the opening to, like a Naked Gun episode almost, right?
Yeah.
Police Squad. So something like that, yeah, with this type of character, because yeah, he doesn't quite know what he's doing, but he thinks he does. So that could make for like funny opportunities.
Yeah. So then, but you guys are just gonna bring in new writers? Like, what's the plan? Do you have a plan or no?
Um, right now I'm doing my master's, so it's super busy, but we are
Gotcha.
looking to do another writer, thankfully, because again, we don't want to just do we have our
Yeah.
own bubbles. Let's get someone else. We do have someone else. The girl that's actually was in the story, the actress, she's going to help us write for the next one. She did I think a creative writing program. So it'd be nice to have her insight and maybe do something outside of comedy, maybe in something more dramatic, thriller. We'll see.
So what are you doing your master's in?
Doing an MBA, so business admin as well. Um, it's a weird dynamic because I'm more on the creative side of like arts. Like for business, I did marketing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like balancing stories. And that's why I'm more into like the camera and the editing and
Yeah.
that stuff because that's more of the marketing. Um, and then yeah, how do I balance business and realistic concepts with business when you go into actually shooting something, and then the creative part in shooting it.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Hmm
Listen, I wish I took a business degree when I went to school. I had to learn
hmm
it all on the fly.
hmm Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, but I was a communications major, so
Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, that was what I was gonna go into originally because it had a bit more to do with like media and
yeah.
shooting things. Ultimately, my parents are like, "No way, you're not doing that." So, but honestly, it's the way I ended up. I'm happy I ultimately chose the program I did.
They said no way you're not doing that.
Yep. We I don't know if any of my parents went to university. Like it might be my generation. Um, I should know this, but I can't remember.
Shit.
So they were like, okay, because they told me to go to the business school itself, and ultimately, I think it was the right move for job opportunities. But again, I had to learn all the media stuff on my own essentially, so
Yeah.
everything worked out, I hope.
Gotcha. Well, man, I wish you guys the best, you and your team. I thought you guys made a good film, and like I said, keep making movies. I know you're busy, but it's all we never get a film from your area.
No,
So
really.
yeah, never. It's always like a lot of it in the United States, but in Canada it's a lot of Winnipeg, well, obviously BC in
hmm
Toronto area, but not much New York, Niagara region. So
Okay. Good to know. Yeah. Hopefully more artists,
that's
maybe
why I
it comes in
left.
waves. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. We only have a small festival here, I think. We only have one or two. That's
yeah,
about it. So,
cool.
Um,
All right, man. We'll talk soon when you make your next film.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.